Hey friends, it is Queen Alita. I am back today with another video, so welcome back, and if you're new, welcome. I have a word to share with you, and this one is based on a series of dreams that I've had pretty much since the beginning of the year. These dreams came at varying intervals, and they all had similar themes, so I'm not even going to go into detail about on each dream, but I will give you like a general theme, all the important bits I will share with you. Okay, but before I do, always take everything that you hear before the Lord. Listen, no matter what it is, it doesn't only have to be this prophetic word or any other prophetic word, anything. Just always have that constant conversation with the Lord, really don't even reserve your time of speaking to the Lord just for quiet time, or this is my prayer time, this is when I talk to the Lord. Speak to him throughout the day. Just always constantly just be back and forth with him, checking in with him, because that is the most important relationship ever. It really is. So it's important that you take everything back to him when you hear it, because this word may not be for you, because not every prophetic word is meant for everybody, right? So it's so important that you get that confirmation and have him speak to you about it. For some of you, God has already been speaking to you about what I'm about to share. Again, I still encourage you to keep that constant conversation going between yourself and him. Okay, so like I said, the dreams, there's been a common theme, and I've had a series of these dreams probably since January this year, and the main symbolism that sticks out is two body parts, actually, the thighs and the ankles. And the Lord is just so strategic in how he does this. So in some of the dreams, he'll show me a couple, right, with them sitting face to face, like facing each other, legs crossed, or just sitting on a chair. And I've seen, like in one dream, the man rubbing the thighs of his wife in the dream, and very non-sexual, just it felt very much like a mending, a reconnection. And I remember in the one dream, just a big smile on the man's face, and I just could see that beautiful connection, the love between them. In another dream, the man was rubbing the ankles of his wife, and they had just gotten married in that dream, and he was so beautifully rubbing and massaging her ankles and even her feet. And and I think in another dream there was the woman was rubbing the thighs of her husband. It was just this constant recurring theme of thighs and ankles, right? But all just like being rubbed in a way that is like I said, I just sensed just such a beautiful healing. That's the word I'm looking for. All those dreams felt like there was just healing happening in them, right? As the various couples were interacting. So what I believe the Lord is trying to show us through these dreams is that he is working on mending, repairing, restoring broken vows. But not only broken vows, right? But also he is working on bringing new vows. So this is not just for people who are married. This is for those of you who will be getting married, that the Lord has been showing you that there's a wife out there for you, or a husband out there for you, and you know who the person is. This is the specific thing about this particular message today, is that with the broken vows, he's talking to couples. They know each other. There was a situation and the vows were broken. And then on the other hand, it's people who haven't been married yet, and the Lord is showing you that you're coming into that. But the sense I got with these dreams is that for that group of people, it really has to do with someone that that you've you have a history, with a rich history. There have been times of separation. There have been things that you've had to overcome. So on this hand, we've got the couples who are already married, and they've had to deal with some things in their marriage. And you know, there've been a lot of lessons. There may have been separation. There may have been you know, loss of communication, just certain difficult things, and all of that just leading to the vows being broken in one way or the other. And on this hand, it's people that have this rich history with each other. They haven't been married, but that's your kingdom spouse. That's the person, your God ordained spouse, kingdom spouse, the person that God has for you to marry. And you have this history with them. There's this yeah, I just see this long-term back and forth stuff not quite working, and maybe the one not quite ready and the other one standing, you know, just that kind of thing. And the same even on the other hand. Let me also grab my notes so that I don't miss anything. But that's the sense I got when I was really contemplating and spending time with the Lord on these particular dreams, is that restoring of the broken vows, and God working on new vows for new marriages, right? And obviously there's history on both sides. There's stuff that has happened that caused on the one hand vows to be broken, on the other hand it caused you not to get to a point where you got married and made your vows. So the Lord says that the time for reconciliation and restoration and newness is beginning in the area of marriage, right? So if you are finding yourself, you find that you are estranged from your spouse, and you know that that is the person that God has for you, just know that God is going to strategically start to pull things together. And you know, just the imagery of, you know, the way that these couples were interacting in my dream, it was always just so beautiful and just so between the two of them, so intimate. And I could feel that this was about healing. So there are going to be some difficult conversations that you are going to have in order to come to a place where you both work through this, and there's healing. And on the one hand, you're ready to restore the marriage, and on the other hand, you're ready to enter the marriage, depending on where you fall. And so there are going to be difficult conversations that you are going to have to confess some things. You are going to have to share some things that are difficult to share, and be ready to apologize. You know, I also get the sense that, you know, forgiveness is something that a lot of you have already started the process of, you know, because of the journey, because God has spoken to you about your spouse. So you already are in that mind frame of forgiveness. But I believe the Lord is saying as well, just keeping aware of areas where you haven't forgiven that person, because this is the time to do it. When you're having those difficult conversations, when things are coming up, and, you know, you're hashing it all out and analyzing things, you know, actively say things like, I forgive you for that, you know, or on the other hand, I apologize for doing this, that, and the other. And, you know, really be willing to hear each other, to minister to each other, because I just got that sense of just ministering to each other with that rubbing of thighs, the rubbing of ankles. And I also get a sense that the Lord really wants the men to step up in this time in terms of, you know, when I think of the ankle dream, the dream with the ankles, it was the only one with the ankles, but it had to do, so ankles in the dream would represent like that connecting point. So they represent relationship. Ankles connect that leg bone, the shin bone, I don't know the medical term, and your foot. So they represent relationship and connecting two things together. So that was the husband actually doing that in the dream. He was the one massaging the ankles and the feet. So I get a sense that the Lord really wants the men to step up in a certain way, and what that is in each relationship is between you and the Lord and your significant other. So it's so important that you are sensitive to that as well, and that's to the men, that, you know, you're the one that's going to bring that relationship together. You being the husband, you're the head of that family, the head of that household. So it's up to you. It really all hangs on you in terms of the relationship being solid and being strong. And even if you're not married yet, it's up to you to make that commitment. Even the married ones, it's up to you to make that commitment, to say, you know what, I am committed, and we're going to work on this, and we're going to do what we need to do for this restoration. So, you know, the Lord really wants you to be united in this process of healing, to really be sensitive to one another, to be there for one another, to support each other, to be forgiving, to be understanding, to understand that the enemy here is not your spouse, it's not your partner, it really is the devil himself. So remember that, and don't let the pain of some of the things that your partner did rule you, lead you. Don't base your decisions on the pain, on the emotion. I'm not saying ignore the emotion. It's very important that you process the emotion, but don't act out on it. You know, allow yourself to be spirit-led, to operate in the spirit and not in the flesh. I have two beautiful scriptures to share with you guys. The first one is Ecclesiastes 4 verse 9 to 12. I like this one because it really talks about that unity, and of course in the midst of unity there's God. You know, he's that third cord that strengthens everything. So two people are better off than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other can reach out and help. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. Likewise, two people lying close together can keep each other warm. But how can one be warm alone? A person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but two can stand back to back and conquer. Three are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken. So as you guys begin to deal with stuff, begin to have your conversations, begin to reconcile and just go through a healing process together, keep this in mind. This is you basically need each other. That's what I'm trying to say. The crux of it is that you need each other. That's why the Lord brought you together, because that is, you know, you with your spouse is the image of God. You know, God is God created male and female, and that together is his complete image. So know that you do need each other, and God is in it with you. The second scripture is James 1 verse 19 to 21. And I'm reading this one because it's so important that you understand that in this process, you know, I actually wrote it down earlier. This season will not be without its challenges, but it will be jam-packed with joy. So pick your battles, choose your words, and always strive for peace. And that's when the Lord put James 1 verse 19 to 21 in my spirit, which reads, "Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. You must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. Human anger does not produce the righteousness God desires. So get rid of all the filth and evil in your lives and humbly accept the word God has planted in your hearts, for it has the power to save your souls." Friends, that is the word for today. I really, really pray that it's blessed you. I'm excited for those of you who are coming into that reconciliation with your spouse. Specifically, very excited for that because like I said in a previous video, I've had so many women emailing me, telling me that they've been separated from their spouse. They've, you know, how the devil has just come and infiltrated their marriage. And I'm so happy to even report that I'm getting feedback from some of those women saying, God has brought him back. This is what God is doing. You know, he's really reconciling us. And just to see that and get that feedback is so exciting. And even, you know, I know people who haven't been married yet, but they know who their spouse is, and God has been doing some work. You know, they've had to let them go, they've had to, you know, go for counseling together, whatever the case may be. So I even know people in that group. So I'm excited and I'm so encouraged, and I really pray that it encourages all of you that this word is for. God is doing it. He said that this was going to be a year of restoration, recompense, reconciliation, retribution, all the R's. So yeah, receive it. Friends, that's all for today. If you would like to be a part of a community of dreamers, you can join my Patreon. The link is in the description below. We meet on Saturdays and we get together and we share dreams and we interpret them together. There's so much growth, so much learning, so much community. It's such a great place to be. So if you're interested in that, join the membership on my Patreon. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Always remember that God is a good Father. He loves you so much because you, my friend, are so deeply special to Him. Majesty.